So what's going on, guys? I am Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video. Today we are back with a Zombies Q&A. You guys know by now the series where I take your questions from the comment section below to do with the zombie storyline, Easter eggs, and I answer them. As always, if you go into enjoy today's video, drop a like rating whenever you feel like it. Make sure you are subscribed. But let's get into this. Here we go, and enjoy. So since I haven't done one of these in a few weeks now, I'm actually running out of questions I've got stored on my PC, and also since we did one 3 weeks ago, which was before the release of Mao the Toten, a lot of questions that I did have now been answered, and at the same time, that brings up new ones as well. So anything you have to do with the old timeline or the new one in Cold War, leave it down below, and if it's a good one, I'll try my best to answer it. Anyway, so the first one of today says, why and how do people turn into zombies? Now, I'm assuming you're asking this question so I can answer it to do with the new storyline, since before Cold War, as a part of the Ether timeline, anywhere between World at War to Black Ops 4, the answer to this would be different. It was previously Element 115 that turned people into the undead, but now that we are in a new timeline, we are in the Dark Ether story, Element 115 no longer exists, yet people are still turning into zombies. And whilst we are still only halfway through this new storyline, there are things that we are still yet to learn. The answer to this question hasn't 100% being given to us, but there is plenty of intel in the game that gives us a better understanding of how and why people transform into the undead. What causes this to happen? And it is Dr. Grey who is a part of Requiem, specifically she is head of unnatural science. It is her job to research the Dark Ether, the crystals, Ethereum, and also why people turn into zombies.
What I'm still really keen to understand is the transformative properties of Ethereum. We saw what happened to those poor sods at End Station. Some of the infected remain mostly humanoid, while others resemble more powerful, evolved creatures. What made their transformations different? Take that infected Omega soldier, the one who helped us with the particle accelerator. Why did he turn into that? That's one of the things I'd like to answer. Maybe not here, maybe not today, but it's on the list.
So whilst trying to understand the transformative properties of Ethereum, which is also known as Exoelement 1, Vogelium, pretty much the crystals we see in the Dark Ether, it seems to be this that changes people. But not everyone is affected by it in the same way. Some people who become affected by Ethereum remain mostly human-like, they necrotize, their flesh peels away, they change into zombies, so they still, if you look hard enough, resemble humans, they're just undead. However, other people are affected differently and evolve into more powerful creatures, such as the Mimics, the Megatons, the Manglers. So even though it appears to be Ethereum that changes people, it works a little bit different to what we knew in the past, because 115 turned everyone infected into the undead. They all became zombies, whereas Ethereum can turn you into a zombie, but also into a more powerful creature, like, as I said, a Mimic, Megaton, Mangler, and so on. It is the exposure to these crystals, the radiation of them, that infects you. And Dr. Grey in this radio just elaborates on that a little bit more.
It's tricky to nail down Ethereum. From our tests at the data stations, the only pattern we've established is that there is no pattern. The effects of Ethereum exposure vary greatly between subjects. Yes, many suffer from advanced necrosis infections, the undead, but there are others whose side effects appear strictly cerebral. Hallucinations, paranoia, amnesia. Then there's Maxis. Not sure what to make of her. No necrosis. Only side effect appears to be the amnesia, but there's more going on there. Her Ethereum concentration? Off the scale. Highest I've seen. And normally a subject with a fraction of that exposure would be fully transformed, but she seems unaffected. So far. Now, I'm not saying she's dangerous. We just don't know what she is.
So again, she just told us that there is no pattern to Ethereum exposure. Every subject it infects is different. Whilst most people become necrotized, there are others who just suffer from side effects such as hallucination, paranoia, and amnesia. It's not 100% guaranteed when you become exposed to Ethereum that you will turn. You may, if you're very lucky, just suffer from side effects such as hallucination, paranoia, and amnesia. And I guess the best example we have of this is Samantha. She was trapped in the Dark Ether during Firebase C. She would have been exposed to Ethereum, yet we can see she hasn't turned into a zombie. Instead, she has powers. So if you're very lucky, it seems to be a rare chance, but you may not turn at all. You might just escape with some small side effects. If you just listen to some of the experiences from people who were trapped in the Dark Ether, you can tell that that transition, transforming from a human into a zombie or something else, well, as you would imagine, it isn't pleasant.
Fedorov. Freighter. This may be my last recording. I've not felt like myself in a very long time. I know that change is upon me. I've seen it in too many others. I do not recognize it in myself. It began with mouth tasting like battery. Then my skin turned bluish. It started to crack. At first I shed flakes of skin, and then I noticed the flakes, they were made of crystals. I know what I am becoming. The one has chosen me. He's making me into one of his soldiers. Crystals, they call to me now. I tried to stay away, but the more I change, the more I need them.
My name is Olga. It is Olga. Olga. Damn it, I cannot remember last name. I was pulled out of labor camp to mine crystals. I was healthy then. But I think crystals make me sick. First came nightmares. I am chair. I am box. I am table. Maybe it does not seem scary, but it is. Then came fevers and pain. Now parts of skin look like wood, look like brick. It is different every morning. Bones are crooked. They bend like rubber. And hair is sticking together like tails of rats. Am I falling apart? Or am I turning into something else?
So yeah, that confirms it. It is Ethereum that turns you into a zombie. If you get too close to these crystals, if you become exposed to them, you will begin to suffer from its effects. And then once you have turned, no longer are you breathing oxygen. What you now need to survive is Ethereum. Without Ethereum, the undead, they can't breathe, which is why in our zombies maps, whether it be Mal de Toten, Outbreak, we are trapped in these outbreak zones. That also explains why the undead can't just leave the areas they are in and go and traumatize the whole world. It's because they have to stay in that location because that's where the Ethereum is. Without it, they can't breathe and then they die. And that brings us to the final question of the day, which is from Reaper Z, where you say, question, couldn't the Primus crew just kill Dr. Monty to break the loop instead of killing themselves? And did you know that Sam is wearing the Zetsubo Noshima gas mask? So obviously that final part is referring to the Firebase ending, but in terms of the question, well, couldn't Primus have just killed Dr. Monty instead of having to kill themselves to break the cycle? Well, no, because killing Dr. Monty would only cause the cycle to reset. There is another part to that being, well, is Dr. Monty even killable? Since we've taken down the Shadow Man in Revelations, I would say so, but Monty did also appear to be slightly more powerful than the Shadow Man. If they had the same powers, then I'd ask the question, why didn't the Shadow Man, whenever we were going up against him, just wipe us from existence? We know Dr. Monty can do that. We saw him do it in the Revelations ending cutscene before he changed his mind and sent us back to the Great War, which makes me think that Monty must be more powerful than the Shadow Man, which brings up the question, is he killable? We don't know for sure, but I'd like to think so. However, none of that matters because if we did kill him, the loop that we were in would just reset. The only way to end all of this was to purge Element 115 from existence, and this also meant the death of our characters. So yeah, there we go. That is all I have for you for today's video. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, you know what to do. Drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Leave any questions that you have down below, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.